Hey everyone, welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're tackling Irrevocable Life Insurance Trusts.
ILITs.
ILITs, you got it. We're going to really unpack how they can be used for some serious tax advantages.
Yeah, some pretty incredible tax advantages.
Our main source for this deep dive is an article from the Skloff Financial Group.
Great article.
It is. They've done a really nice job of using real-life examples, which I
Yeah.
think is so helpful because who wants to wade through a bunch of financial jargon?
Exactly. It can be a really dense topic,
Right.
but they make it so clear.
They do. So just imagine passing on a large amount of wealth to your loved ones completely tax-free.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. That's the kind of tax dream we're exploring today.
That's what we're diving into.
All right, so ILITs.
They can seem confusing at first glance.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are intimidated by them.
for sure.
But when you break them down with real examples like this article does,
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier to grasp.
Absolutely. So the article focuses on a couple named Bill and Sue. They live in New Jersey.
Correct.
They're both 55 years old, and they have 2 adult children.
Okay.
And they're really trying to figure out the best way to maximize their tax-free gifting in 2024.
Makes sense.
And as you know, the annual limit for tax-free gifts is $18,000 per child.
Right.
So the article lays out a couple of options for Bill and Sue,
Mm-hmm.
each with its own unique advantages.
And the first option they look at is a life insurance only ILIT.
Okay, so this is where things start to get interesting.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, Bill and Sue would each put $36,000 annually into separate ILOTs that they set up.
Right.
And then-
they're each funding their own ILIT.
Right.
And within those ILITs, they would have life insurance policies with guaranteed death benefits extending all the way to age 120.
Wow. So no matter when they pass away, their children are guaranteed a payout.
Right. It's like a built-in safety net.
So that is some serious peace of mind.
It really is.
Okay, and we're not talking about small change here.
No.
Upon Bill's death, his policy would pay out over $2 million,
Yeah.
completely tax-free to his ILIT.
Wow.
And then that money would pass directly to his children.
Right.
Sue's policy is projected to pay out even more, almost $2.5 million.
It's incredible how these numbers can add up.
It is. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
But what if you're also worried about potential long-term care costs as you age?
That's a great question. That's where the second option comes in the hybrid ILIT.
Okay.
So this type of ILIT combines life insurance with what's called a chronic illness rider,
Okay.
which can really help cover those long-term care expenses.
Now, this is something that I think is relevant for everyone listening,
Yes.
because the article points out that a whopping 7 out of 10 people over 65,
It's a staggering statistic.
it is, will need some form of long-term care.
So this isn't just about leaving money for your heirs.
Right.
It's also about protecting yourself,
Yeah.
doing your lifetime.
Okay, so how does this chronic illness rider work?
So the way it works is it allows the policy to pay out up to 4% of the death benefit each month
Okay.
to help cover those care costs.
Okay.
Now, obviously, this reduces the final death benefit payout
Yeah.
accordingly.
Right.
But here's the important part. If the ILIT is used to pay for your care, those proceeds remain completely tax-free.
Oh, wow.
So it's a win-win.
So let's say Bill and Sue opt for this hybrid ILIT.
Okay.
The article uses the example of them needing care at age 80,
Mm-hmm.
which they mention is the average age when people start needing long-term care.
Yeah.
So Bill's policy would then provide him with almost $2 million tax-free to cover his care expenses.
right.
Sue would receive even more.
It's a lot of money.
It is. And these are significant sums of money that could really make a difference in their quality of life.
Exactly. At a time when they need it most.
At a time when they need it most.
Exactly.
And here's the best part.
Was that?
Even if they don't end up needing long-term care,
Right.
the remaining death benefit still passes tax-free to their children upon their death.
So you have a built-in safety net
Yeah.
and this powerful estate planning tool.
It's like the best of both worlds.
It really is.
This is incredible. So we've seen how ILITs can provide peace of mind, knowing your family's taken care of.
Right.
But the benefits don't stop there, do they?
Not at all. The article touches on how hybrid ILITs can be paired with something called a Protected IRA Plus, or PIPP,
Okay.
for even more estate planning advantages.
We won't dive deep into PIPPs today.
Yeah, we won't go into too much detail on that.
But it's definitely something worth exploring.
If you're really looking to maximize your financial legacy.
So imagine you set up a hybrid ILIT.
Right.
It covers your potential long-term care needs.
Uh-huh.
It ensures a tax-free inheritance for your loved ones.
Right.
And then you layer on a PIPP for even more benefits.
Like a trifecta.
It's like a financial trifecta.
Exactly.
Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah,
let's just back up for a second and make sure we're all on the same page.
that's good.
When we talk about a death benefit,
Right.
what exactly are we talking about?
So the death benefit is simply the amount of money
Okay.
the life insurance policy pays out
Okay.
when the insured person passes away.
Okay. So when we say chronic illness rider,
Mm-hmm.
this is like an additional feature you can add to a life insurance policy
Right.
that provides that coverage for those specific long-term care needs.
Exactly.
It's like a built-in safety net
Yes.
within your life insurance.
Within the policy itself.
So to recap,
Yes.
ILITs offer a way to pass on wealth tax-free.
Right.
They can potentially cover your long-term care costs,
Ha.
and they can be combined with other strategies like PIPPs.
It's a powerful combination.
It sounds like a lot,
It is.
but don't worry, we're going to unpack all of this for you.
We'll break it down step by step.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking.
Yeah.
This all sounds great, but is it only for the super wealthy?
That's a common question.
It is. Well, stay tuned because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll discuss whether ILITs are right for everyone and explore some of the key factors to consider before setting one up.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive into Irrevocable Life Insurance Trusts, those ILITs.
And picking up right where we left off.
We are. So we've been really kind of getting into how ILITs can be used to create that financial legacy for your loved ones
Right.
while minimizing those tax burdens.
Exactly. And one thing I think is really interesting is that the life insurance proceeds
Uh-huh.
that are held within the ILIT,
Okay.
those aren't actually considered part of your taxable estate.
Oh, wow. So like in that example with Bill and Sue,
Yeah.
even though those potential death benefits were pretty big,
Huge.
they wouldn't be subject to estate taxes.
If it's structured correctly, they would be.
That's a huge advantage for their kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially for individuals with larger estates
Okay.
who might be facing those estate tax liabilities.
So it's like a secret weapon
Yeah.
in your estate planning arsenal.
Yeah, you could say that.
It sounds like ILITs could be a real game changer for a lot of people.
They can be.
But I imagine there are some things you need to carefully consider before setting one up.
Oh, for sure.
What are some of the key factors that people should keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, you need to understand that these trusts are irrevocable,
Okay.
as the name suggests.
Right.
Once you transfer those assets into an ILIT,
Yeah.
you generally can't take them back.
So you really need to be certain about your decisions before you move forward with this.
Exactly. It's not something to rush into.
No.
Another really crucial aspect is choosing the right trustee.
Okay.
So this is the person or entity that will manage the ILIT assets.
Okay.
And they have a lot of responsibility
Yeah.
in making sure the trust is administered properly according to your wishes.
So finding a trustworthy and competent trustee is really paramount.
This is essential.
You're entrusting them with your family's financial future.
Exactly. You want someone who understands your goals, your values, and who will always act in the best interest of your beneficiaries.
That's a big decision.
It is.
We've talked a lot about the potential upsides of ILITs,
Right.
but are there any downsides or drawbacks that people should consider?
Yeah, that's an important question. Like any financial strategy, there are trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
One potential downside is that once those assets are in the ILIT,
Yeah.
you're giving up control over them.
So you're giving up direct ownership
Right.
in exchange for the tax advantages and the protection the ILIT provides.
Exactly. And that could be really beneficial for tax purposes and those long-term goals.
Right.
But it's important to understand what that means.
Yeah.
Another thing to keep in mind is that setting up and maintaining an ILIT can be a bit complex.
So it sounds like working with a professional
Absolutely.
is crucial throughout this entire process.
You're going to want to work with an estate planning attorney
Okay.
and maybe even a financial advisor to make sure everything's done correctly.
To make sure it meets your needs.
Right.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Not at all.
Careful planning, research,
Mhm.
and expert advice are essential.
It's about finding the right tools and strategies for you
Yeah.
to help you achieve your goals and protect your loved ones.
Now, for those listeners who are thinking, an ILIT sounds pretty good,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's right for me, what's a good first step for them?
Well, I'd say just start by educating yourself.
Okay.
There are so many resources online
Yeah.
through financial professionals.
Mhm.
You can do some research on your own, talk to friends or family.
Right.
who have experience with estate planning.
Get those conversations going.
Exactly.
Okay, and once someone has done their research,
Right.
and maybe they're thinking, yeah, an ILIT might be a good fit for me,
Then what?
then what? What's next?
Well, then it's time to reach out to an estate planning attorney
Okay.
who specializes in ILITs.
Okay.
They can really help you assess your situation,
Yeah.
answer your questions,
Mm.
and guide you through that whole process.
So knowledge is power
Absolutely.
when it comes to ILITs.
It really is.
Arm yourself with information.
Yep.
Seek expert advice.
Mm-hmm.
And then make those informed decisions that really align with your financial goals.
It's about being proactive
Yes.
and taking control of your family's financial future.
This has been a really insightful conversation about ILITs.
I agree.
It's amazing how something that seems so complex can be broken down into these understandable concepts
With the right guidance.
with the right guidance.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I want to shift gears for a second and talk
Absolutely.
about something we haven't really touched on yet.
What's that?
The emotional side of estate planning.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's not just about the numbers and the legalities.
Right. There's a human element to all of this.
So how can ILITs provide that peace of mind?
Right.
That your loved ones are going to be taken care of even after you're gone?
Yeah, so ILITs are more than just a financial tool. They're a way to express love and care for your family.
Even beyond your lifetime.
Even beyond your lifetime.
Exactly.
It's like leaving a legacy of security and well-being.
It is.
A way to continue providing for your loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're no longer there.
You're saying, I want to protect you, provide for you,
Yeah.
and make sure your future is secure no matter what.
That's a really beautiful way to think about it.
It is.
So ILITs are not just about minimizing taxes or maximizing assets.
Right.
They're about leaving a lasting impact
They are.
on the people you care about most.
It's about giving them that gift of financial freedom
Yeah.
and peace of mind.
Knowing that you've taken steps to safeguard their future.
That's a powerful legacy to leave.
This conversation has been so enlightening.
It has.
We've learned about the technical aspects of ILITs,
Mhm.
and we've also explored that emotional significance.
It's all connected.
It is. Before we move on, though, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
All right, I'm listening. Just imagine that peace of mind that comes with knowing your loved ones are going to be okay.
Absolutely.
Financially secure no matter what.
No matter what life throws their way.
That's the true power of ILITs.
It is.
It's that ability to provide not just financial security,
Right.
but emotional security as well.
It's a reminder that estate planning is about love, legacy,
Yes.
and taking care of the people we care about.
Okay, well, this brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive into irrevocable life insurance trusts.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, but we're not done yet.
Not quite.
We hope you found this exploration informative and thought-provoking.
I hope so.
And remember, knowledge is the first step toward taking control of your financial future.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Yeah.
and seek out that expert advice.
Your loved ones will thank you for it.
They will.
We'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We're going to explore some additional considerations.
Okay.
And answer some common questions about ILITs, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into ILITs. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
We have, from those tax advantages to picking a good trustee,
Right.
even to that emotional peace of mind.
Right. You know, thinking about taking care of your family
Yeah.
and making sure everything's set.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. But, you know, while we focused on some of the key aspects of ILITs, I think there's one more angle that's worth exploring.
Okay.
ILITs aren't just for the super wealthy.
You're right. It's a common misconception.
It is. A lot of people think, oh, this is only for people with millions and millions of dollars.
But that's not the case at all.
It's not.
Yeah.
Even relatively modest life insurance policies
Right.
can still generate some significant tax-free benefits for your beneficiaries
Absolutely.
when they're placed within an ILIT.
It's about finding the right strategy for your situation.
Right. So for those listening who are maybe thinking, okay, an ILIT sounds interesting, but is it right for me? What advice would you give them?
I would say start by asking yourself some key questions.
Okay.
Think about your long-term financial goals.
Yeah.
How important is it to you to minimize those estate taxes
Right.
and to really maximize that inheritance that your loved ones are going to receive?
Mm-hmm.
Are you comfortable with the idea of putting assets into an irrevocable trust?
That's a big one.
It is. Those are some big things to think about.
It's like taking inventory of your financial goals and values.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've thought about those things.
Right?
You've done a little soul searching.
You've done your homework.
What's next?
Then it's time to talk to a pro,
Okay.
a qualified financial advisor,
Right.
or an estate planning attorney.
Who specializes in these ILITs
Exactly. You want someone who really knows their stuff.
to make sure you're getting the right guidance.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Estate planning is not a DIY project.
it's not.
You need that professional guidance.
So true. Well, this has been such an eye-opening conversation
It has been.
about ILITs. We've explored the benefits, the considerations,
Right.
the potential impact it can have on protecting your family.
It's all about planning ahead.
It is. You know, before we say goodbye, though,
Mm-hmm.
I want to circle back to something you said earlier
Okay.
about ILITs being more than just numbers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the technicalities.
The dollars and cents.
Right. But at the end of the day, an ILITS is a gift.
Oh, wow.
A gift of security
To your loved ones.
to your loved ones.
Okay.
Exactly. It's a way of saying, I'm thinking about you,
Even when I'm not here.
even when I'm not here. And I want to make sure you're taken care of.
That's powerful.
It is.
Well, this has been fantastic. I've learned so much.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of irrevocable life insurance trusts.
It's been a pleasure,
We hope you've learned something new
and that you're feeling inspired.
to take control of your financial future.
Because remember, it's never too early to start planning.
That's right. Well, from both of us.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.